Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning tea. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, Tea Tribe. I'm your girl, Alex Schiffman, and joining me is my amazing co-host, Courtney Revolution. How you doing, Courtney?
Hello. Hey, Alex. Good morning, T-Tribe. I am Courtney. Bam. Revolution, and it is Monday. Bam. And I am doing dandy. How you doing today, girl?
I am doing well. I am excited, Tea Tribe. This may not be great news, but it is great news because this is Courtney and I's last week of the morning tea before we head and hang out for the holidays. So this is our last week, so it's an exciting week, but we also get a break after this week. So I'm ready for it. Are you ready, Courtney?
Alex, I'm so ready. T-Tribe, y'all ready to laugh? If you're sipping right now, go ahead and take the sip. I don't want you to spit all over the kids and the dog and stuff. Alex, I'm so ready that I didn't know. I thought we was working all the way up until like the 22nd or something. You mean the end of this week is it, girl? That's it? We hanging it up flat screen?
The 18th, which is this Friday.
Girl, I feel like Troy and Gabriella. What time is it? Summertime. Hey, it's our vacation. High School Musical, y'all should have given us one full Christmas moment and given us the hits, but I'm going to let y'all live with that one. But I didn't even realize, Alex, so thank you for the information.
Brandy in the chat, she's asking, you guys better be coming back. Of course, we're coming back, but you know, it's holiday time, so we're going to take some time off and reset before the new year. Oh my gosh, Courtney, it's almost 2021. Can you believe that?
Alex, listen, I'm very ready for 2021. Can I say something that I feel is very important that I've been just saying on social media, but I want to tell the T-Tribe, right? 2021 is upon us, you all, and I want to be realistic, right? Things will not automatically change at the strike of 12 going into 2021. However, they don't change. I know the girls are thinking we're going to wake up and the world is going to be a different place. However, why don't we set goals in place to just do better in 2021? Even if the world is still acting up, we can do good, and maybe our good can work its way from the inside out. You know what I mean? Let's do that. Let's just do good in 2021.
Courtney, are you a big New Year's person? Like, do you set your resolutions? Do you think of it as a reset? Are you that type of person?
I want to say yes and no, Alex. Like, I've never been the person to be like, in 2010, I'm going to lose like 50 pounds. Although if you're one of those people that set weight as like next year, I'm going to lose weight, I want to say, shout out to you if you set that goal and do not let others discourage you from that or make you feel like you're going to stop. Your journey is individual to you, and you walk along that path. But Alex, I do like to say things like, I want to be happier in 2021. I want to take better care of my emotional state, my mental state, my energy. Like, I say things like that. And I feel like when I'm a little bit looser, I'm able to sort of change my goals throughout the year. So it's been a good year goal-wise for me thus far. Not that we're reminiscing just yet, girl, because, we could do that on Friday. But has it been a good year for you thus far, Alex?
It has been a really great year, and I agree with you. I like attainable goals that you could actually hit, because then you feel like progress has happened. But of course, think about it, T-Tribe, and on Friday, let us know in the chat what your New Year's resolutions may be. You still have some time, but while we're talking about the holidays, of course, I fast forwarded to New Year's because I'm a big New Year's person. I love it. I like it as a fresh slate. I like to, kind of restart. I always like that we have that. I think it's pretty cool that we have that every year.
Me too, Alex. And I feel like if you're going to take any moment in the year to transform, why not let New Year's Eve be that excuse? You get yourself dressed up, you pour yourself a beautiful cocktail, or you call your friends on the Zoom, and y'all live it up. And when the clock's 12, bam, put those changes into effect. Get it started, get it going. Strong.
We know that 2020 was a horrible year for all of us. So I know that we could all use a little New Year celebration, even if it's safe at home, just a little restart, refresh, and get ready because we need it. And tell me, Courtney, how was your weekend? Did you do anything? Did you watch anything? Share something with us.
Alex, it was a good weekend. I watched a lot of TV this weekend. So I want to start off by saying I watched Real Housewives of Atlanta on time last night. Oh my God, Alex, I found a little website, girl. I won't spill it to y'all publicly on the show, but I found a little website that updates the show every Sunday so I can watch as soon as it's done in LA. I go on my website and I watch it. It was excellent. What else did I watch? I did watch another episode of The Flight Attendant, which I really like. I enjoyed the fun in that, although it's a little bit thrilling. I watched something else this weekend. I forgot what it was, Alex. But what did you watch this weekend? I didn't get to Selena. That was my thing. I was like, I know Alex is going to ask me what I did this weekend. And I looked at the clock and I was like, Selena, because I'm going to fall asleep. But I want to watch her. What you do this weekend?
We'll have to watch that. I also caught up on Flight Attendant, so that was good. I'm also checking out Big Sky. Have you heard of Big Sky?
Oh, I've seen the ads for that on Hulu.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest. It's network TV, so it's a little cheesy, if I'm going to be honest. But it's still entertaining. There's a whole level of like, there's a layer. I don't want to kind of give it all away, but check it out if you have some time. I caught up on that. You know what else I watched? I watched a Lifetime movie that Kelly Rowland is in.
Now, Alex, I saw Miss Kelly Rowland on my Hulu or something like that, and I said, now, Kelly is out here doing, is it a Christmas movie Kelly was in? What Kelly do, Alex?
Kelly did, it's called Mary Little, now of course I'm on the spot, but basically it's a Lifetime movie. She's getting married on Christmas Eve. She's having a Christmas wedding and everything goes wrong. And then the families and like the in-laws and her family have to make it all happen. And it's a fiasco. It's a mess, but she looks beautiful in it. And I always like to watch Lifetime movies that have like a star like that I recognize, you know, like a Roland, Vanessa Lachey's in a new one. Chad Michael Murray is in another one I watch. Like, just, you know, I like that kind of extra special star in it. So I checked it out.
Coming back, Alex? Because I feel like when I was younger, it was all about like animated films and like maybe like little movies. But I feel like more recently, within the past like 2 or 3 years, like people have really been focusing on the holiday feature films, like beyond Hallmark and stuff like that. Huh.
Well, it's on Lifetime, and Lifetime holiday movies never go away. So you can always count on a Hallmark or Lifetime to do a good movie. But you know what? I think just with production, all of that, some of those have probably been on hiatus. I know. You know what I want to check out? Prom. Have you seen that on Netflix?
I've been seeing the girls talk about it on Twitter because James Corden is in it, right, y'all? I do want to watch it, but I don't know what it's about, Alex. I just keep hearing it's groundbreaking, girl.
James Corden, Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman. It's like an all-star cast, and basically, I don't know exactly, but I know that a couple wants to go to prom, and in a small town. And let me find the synopsis while we're on it. This is not an ad, but like now that we're talking about it, of course I need to let it out. By Ryan Murphy. Okay, so that tells you a lot because you know anything by Ryan Murphy is
it's good.
Here we go.
Good and gay.
Here we go. Just take it all time. Okay. A troupe of hilarious, self-obsessed theater stars swarm into a small, conservative Indiana town in support of a high school girl who wants to take her girlfriend to the prom. So, great premise. Oh. Yes. Oh. The conservative town, girl wants to bring her girlfriend. So, this is new age. This is great. And then it's an all-star cast. So,
I'm here for it. That sounds good.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm going to check that out sometime this week or this upcoming weekend when we have all the time off. But until then, let me break down what we have on the show today because we just love to talk about binging because that's all we do these days. Right, Courtney?
Well, we always do, girl.
So let me tell you, we got to talk about Cody Simpson's career change, and it's not what you think. This is pretty interesting. Some news coming out of the weekend. Also, Perez Hilton kicked off of TikTok. You heard me straight. FKA Twigs and Sia come for Shia LaBeouf. Miley Cyrus is celebrating a very special anniversary, and Offset is defending Cardi B against Snoop, of all people. This is pretty interesting. We're also talking about Blue Ivy's Grammy nomination, and then Ashanti and Keisha Cole's versus battle. There's an update with that. And then Taylor Swift opening up about her creative process and how it may be a little bit difficult for her. This is some interesting news. Then behind the Kar-Jenner gates, we're discussing Kim's hatred of Elf on the Shelf, as well as the recent hate being thrown at Khloe regarding one of Tristan's recent Instagram posts. And then finally, our OMT story of the day. We're talking about a new Taylor Swift fan theory, of course they never stop, that says she has a third album coming out soon to complete the Folklore trilogy. So stay tuned. Swifties, if you're here, you don't want to miss this because these fans, they just can't get enough. They're really detectives. They're not even fans. They're just straight investigative reporters. Right, Courtney?
You know what it is? Taylor has trained her audience to look for everything. You know what I mean? I feel like after that, Speak Now, girl, them lyrics in the booklet, girl. People have been looking between the lines with everything that she does. And I mean, if you're always leaving clues, people are always going to look at things that you do with a magnifying glass. So I ain't mad at it, girl.
Yeah, me either. Okay, Courtney, let's get into it. Pour up that hot water. Let's kick off. You missed it because we missed a lot this weekend, as we do.
Yeah, we did.
Are you still fancy with your tea right now, Courtney?
I've still got my Yorkshire tea today. It's a beautiful and delicious black tea that I love. It's very robust, very flavorful. Just absolutely divine. If you guys know about the Yorkshire tea in that green and red box, you've definitely got taste.
Courtney, is that a marble mug I see there? That's beautiful.
Oh, yes, darling. You know that my birthstone is emerald, and although this is not emerald, I do love the color green, so I felt like, I just wanted a little pop of color today, babes.
I love it. All right, let's get into it. So if you're new here, these are all the stories that you may have missed overnight, or this case, over the weekend. Don't worry, Courtney will handle the trending tea for you. And this stuff, we're talking about Cody Simpson, who's more than just a singer these days, because apparently Cody has quite the skill set as he has just qualified for the Australian Olympic trials in swimming. Check that out. Posting to his Instagram account over the weekend, Cody let his fans know that he has been pushing towards this goal for a while now, and his prospects as making the Olympic swim team are good. Cody said, quote, "For years, I had been fueled by the silent fire in my stomach of returning to the sport of swimming, with the idea that 2020 would be the year I tried training again. After only 5 months back in the water with my incredible coach, I was able to take out a win and secure a spot at next year's Australian Olympic trials in the 100 fly." So, Courtney and T-Tribe, what do you think of this career pivot for Cody Simpson? Do you think he has what it takes to get the gold?
I mean, listen, for a fact, I know that there are the few Cody Simpson fans watching this. So I'll say this. I do not support Cody Simpson's music career because I haven't heard a song to really win me over yet. But I do support Cody Simpson being an athlete because who can deny that swimmer's build, And shout out to him. It sounds like he has more of a future in the Olympics than music, which I can be okay with. I love a good pivot. If you're not making it in one area, you got to pivot to another, Alex.
Listen, Cody has the breakup bod going on. When someone goes through a breakup, one of the things they do is either change their look, cut their hair, get in great shape. So I think that this may have been why this happened. You know what I mean? But I also know that he surfing. He's always been a swimmer. And so this is something that he's been passionate about. So why not do it? Listen, as we learned, life is short. 2020 is the year that Cody's going to the Olympics. And I think this is amazing news. I
didn't see that in the crystal ball, Alex. I didn't see that at all. You know what I mean? Like that was like news I wasn't expecting to read.
Yeah, Jessica in the chat is saying, wow, that's actually awesome. I'm definitely not a fan of Cody, but swimming is his game. That's right. Swimming has been in his blood.
Mhm.
I also, Alexis is saying, body, yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. It's true. He's
Hey,
looking good. He's looking fit. He's looking like an Olympian. I think it's going to get the gold. Why not? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Weird things happen. Go, Cody.
yeah. That's how you do a butterfly, Alex. Is that how you do it? You jump off the block and you. Is that I don't? I'm not a good swimmer. Is that what you do in the water, y'all? Y'all bring the wings up
Yeah.
above the water. Is that what you do? I'm a good paddler. I'll paddle, girl. Oh, get me back to the shore, girl.
Courtney, you may get the gold in the doggy paddle, but
Oh yeah,
Cody's going to go
girl.
home and fly. I love it. All right. Well, speaking of some other news, not only is Cody kicked out of music, he's not kicked out of music, but Perez Hilton has been kicked off of TikTok, and now he is begging to be let back on. Over the weekend, Perez went live on his YouTube channel to talk about his recent banning from TikTok after community members started a petition of over 200,000 names to have him removed from the platform. Perez explained in the live, quote, the reason that TikTok gave me for permanently banning my account without any warning is multiple community guidelines violations. I am feeling numb and I don't want to seem overly dramatic, but I feel like my world is crumbling. This feels like a death to me. Now he is reaching out to Charlie D'Amelio as the biggest creator on the platform to help him get his account back. Perez still seemed taken aback by the banning, reasoning with Charlie on the live that he hasn't done anything wrong. He said, quote, but I have not done anything that's harassing or bullying, and TikTok is claiming that I am just by sharing news and sharing my opinion. So, Courtney and T-Tribe, what do you think of all this news, and do you think Charlie will help Perez out during this time?
Alex, what is this little girl supposed to do for Perez Hilton? What is she supposed to do?
Yeah.
Um, like, she's supposed to call somebody and be like, listen, this man that I don't know, that has been mean to celebrities for years and years and years deserves his platform. I know that I can be a little abrasive, a little rough at times. I know some of y'all don't always agree with what I have to say, but I would hope that y'all know that the intent of the things that I say comes from like an honest and pure place. And I can't say from the outside looking in that being such a follower of Perez Hilton from like the 10th grade, I can't say that I felt the same energy from Perez. And it's unfortunate, Alex, because back then, back in the day, y'all, back when I was like 15, 16, you couldn't tell me nothing about Perez Hilton. That was going to be my career. But then you grow up and you realize that it's okay to have an opinion as long as there's a little bit of tact to the things that you say. It's okay to be funny. But I feel like
Right.
sometimes Perez is just downright hurtful. So how can you support someone like that? Why would you want to give him a platform on one of the biggest social media, beasts out there? So I can't say, Alex, that maybe banning him was fair because I don't know on what guidelines they were banning him on. I mean, if he was up there with his book cover and he's naked, well, there's children on TikTok. So you don't need to have a TikTok if you're up there with your whole body out. But my point is, Charlie can do nothing for Perez, and Perez should just keep it cute or put it on mute. Maybe you should hang it up.
Yeah, with Perez Hilton, like you said, I mean, growing up with him, I was a fan of his blog. I followed him for news. But the thing about Perez was that he was shocking. And you just understood that when you would see something that Perez was reporting about, it wasn't necessarily going to be the nicest. It was going to be shocking. And it was going to say it how it is. And that's what his brand is about. However, I think in today's climate and the generation that's on TikTok, Gen Z, with cancel culture and all of that involved, he doesn't really necessarily hit the same as he used to, because now people just see him as possibly hurtful and mean, whereas he's always had that in him. But like you said, I think at this point, it just doesn't people don't have time for it. They don't have energy for that. They don't necessarily want that type of reporting, where before it was seen as humor. Even though it was hurtful, it was seen as humor, right?
Yes. Alex and T Tribe, I want to ask you something. It's very important, Alex. Were we immature back then, or are we oversensitive now?
That is the loaded question. I actually have that conversation often because I do think that we have been educated. We have been, the world has changed. The climate has changed. What people accept, what people not accept. So in general, I just think that his type of reporting, blogging, shocking kind of statements, they don't necessarily do the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And I also think, here's the irony in all of this, is that he's come for Charlie and the D'Amelios. Like, Charlie did a TikTok in a bathing suit on a beach, and he said, you know, her parents are bad parents. He said, you know, is this inappropriate for her to be doing? Which some people may agree with, but at the time, you know, that's what he's also, when she went through a public breakup with Chase Hudson, who is her ex-boyfriend, he was reporting about it every single day. He was spreading hate in a way, according to, you know, her fans and TikTok. So all in all, in their legal standards, maybe he did break community guidelines, but it's just a little ironic that the same person that he spread hate towards, he's asking to help him.
Got to be nice on the way up, because you never know who you're going to have to kiki and cry to on the way back down, Alex. Now, that's the truth.
Right. And Brittany said a good point. I think that back then, Perez was really the only one reporting on celebrities in that kind of way, in that kind of celebrity tea, shady way. If it didn't come from Perez, it wasn't true news. I think we are a little more sensitive now, though, and socially, like, the social climate has changed. I think that's a great point, Brittany. I agree with that. Perez was the guy. He was, you know, he got the news before the TMZs, or maybe it was the same time as TMZ. Don't quote me on that, but he was the blogger. So, all in all, I don't think the D'Amelios are the people that are going to save you, Perez. Unfortunately, I think that
Charlie twisted in her bedroom right now, girl. Hit it, girl. Bam. Hit it, Charlie. Hit him with the bam. Where's Allison, girl? Let me get her on the phone, girl. They ain't thinking about Perez. Girl, let me not get into it, but they are not thinking about Mr. Hilton. They are not. Shout out to him.
No. Charlie's like, whoa, that happened a long time after than it should. All right, well, happy for Perez. But moving on to some other more difficult news, unfortunate news. FKA Twigs has sued Shia LaBeouf, accusing him of sexual battery, assault, and infliction of emotional distress. The New York Times ran an article detailing the lawsuit over the weekend, prompting Sia to also come out against Shia's behavior as well. Posting to Twitter, Sia said, quote, "I too have been hurt emotionally by Shia, a pathological liar who conned me into an adulterous relationship claiming to be single. I believe he's very sick and have compassion for him and his victims. Just know if you love yourself, stay safe, stay away." Now, FKA Twigs saw Sia's post and showed her support. She tweeted at Sia saying, "I'm sorry, Sia. This reinforces why I had to publicly share my experience. We need to support each other with a heart." Now, Shia has responded to the initial lawsuit, though not Sia's recent additions. In a statement shared with the New York Times, Shia admitted that his alcoholism and aggression has been a struggle for him for years, and that he has been abusive to himself and those around him. While he goes on to say that not all of the allegations FKA Twigs has made against him are true, he has admitted some wrongdoing on his part. So, Courtney and T-Tribe, what do you think of this news?
Awful, terrible, despicable. It sucks because a lot of us have grown up with Shia LaBeouf. You get what I'm saying? And there's a part of me that wants to be, of course, like Alex, Well, he admitted to it, right? He admitted to it. He's facing it. He's not running away from it. However, that doesn't make what he's done right. It doesn't make it better. It doesn't erase the trauma from FKA Twigs or Sia or any other victims that won't come out and bring to light whatever happened to them. It's just unfortunate that people even have to go through this in order to get to the growth. You get what I'm saying? Because he will grow after this. I believe that, but it's no good, Alex. Where does Shia go from here? Also, do you believe, here's a really good question. Do you guys believe that you can be conned into an adulterous relationship? Because I think that there will be people out there, Alex, that say, well, the whole world knew Shia LaBeouf was dating whoever it was. How did Sia not know? Google is free. How do you guys feel about that? You be conned into being with someone that has someone already?
No, I mean that is a choice. I think there's two people involved. I do feel that he must have some charm to him in that he's able to date both these really, beautiful, powerful women. So I don't know what's going on. However, I don't even want to give that much thought. What I do want to say is that he basically admitted this. He said that his alcoholism and aggression has struggled for him for years. He's been abusive to himself and those around him. It doesn't really matter if he's saying that not all of the allegations made against him are true, because he's already saying it's true. It doesn't matter if you're abusive one time or 5 times. If you're abusive, you're abusive. And I think it's very brave of FKA Twigs to come out. I also love that Sia came out, another female celebrity that has gone through this same thing with this same person. When you're a victim and a survivor of something, having support from a mutual victim, so powerful. So I love that Sia did this, and I feel for FKA Twigs and Sia, and not defending Shia, but he needs help, and I hope he gets the help that he needs.
Same. Brandy is saying there is a show where actors interview each other. Shia and Kristen Stewart interviewed each other, I guess, in this interview. Look it up. It's very interesting. Well, Brandy, thank you for saying that, because I definitely want to check that out. Interesting.
Ooh, that does sound interesting.
Right?
Yeah. It's really, really tough. Some dark news coming out over the weekend.
Yes, ma'am.
Some lighter.
But you know what? It raises awareness for those going through the same thing. If FKA Twigs can go through it, if Shia LaBeouf can be an abuser, and y'all know a lot of us love Shia LaBeouf, then it makes things a little bit more realistic. But girl, let's take him out of the real, girl. Let's take him into some fantasy. What's next on the docket? I don't know.
This is a little comedic relief for everyone. Miley Cyrus is a very special anniversary. Posting to her Instagram, the infamous bong video from 2010. The video, released by TMZ, of course, showed a younger Miley Cyrus smoking a bong with her friends. The video at the time sparked huge outrage, I remember it, and scandal, as Miley was still on Hannah Montana at the time. So Miley captioned the post, quote, "Happy 10-year anniversary to the groundbreaking video of a teenager smoking a bong and saying dumb shit to their friends. Not sure the director of this fine film should be considered a friend, but time really flew by. I remember this like it was yesterday. JK, I don't remember shit because I was at the hell. So, what do you think of Miley bringing this news back up and kind of celebrating this anniversary, Courtney and T-Drive?
There's a couple things I want to say. How interesting that Miley has done these weirdly controversial things that are a little bit normalized now.
Right.
Like, maybe not where you live, but certainly here, smoking out of a bong. If we saw Miley today, that wouldn't be weird. If we saw any person on TikTok, that wouldn't be weird. Twerking, remember in 2013? Twerking was like, oh my God, how could she? Nicki said she looks like a Purdue chicken. Now, girl, you open up TikTok, everybody twerking, 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 twerking. So interesting. Remember also when y'all, when Miley did maybe it was Vanity Fair, where she did the cover where she wasn't even naked from the front. She had to back out and people was like, oh my God, what a whore that Miley is. So I mean, girl, is Miley opening doors or is Miley being annoying and stunty? I think that it's a little bit of both. But I'm glad that she's able to take a moment like this in stride and make a little bit of a joke out of it and not make it like a run from the media thing, which I think Miley's pretty good at. So shout out to her,
Right.
the bong, the salvia, and not shout out to the friend that recorded that video because you tried it.
That I love that she like said that. You know, she said in parentheses, not sure the director of this fine film should be considered a friend. Because I watched this video, honestly, looking back, and it kind of made me sad. It was like, this was like a private moment, you know, with her friends. Obviously, she was a huge celebrity at the time on Hannah Montana. And this person released this video, like, for money. That just makes me very sad. It shows that, like, I mean, in general, having a small circle around you is great, but like celebrities specifically, like that must be so difficult for them, like to trust people, and it makes that circle that much smaller. So that could be very lonely. And but on the lighter side of it, it's funny that now Miley is Miley. And at that time, Miley was Hannah Montana. So to see kind of the trajectory of that, like now we see that we're like, oh, it's Miley Cyrus. But at the time, it was like shocking, similar to the Perez stuff. Like, you know, it's the same kind of the way things age. They age differently, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You know, now it's legalized, not that big of a deal. At the time, shocking. Perez, when he did it, he was the first that kind of did that stuff. Now, there's cancel culture. So things change.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely right. Shout out to Miley, though, and all her smiley Mileys. Come on, Miley.
Her smiley eyes. I mean, it's fine. You don't laugh when you watch the video because she's just out of her mind, laughing hysterically. It's great. Okay. Let's get into some other difficult news that we need to talk about. Offset is defending Cardi B from some comments Snoop Dogg made during a recent interview. So, speaking to Central Avenue's Jelena Bermudez, Snoop Dogg was recently asked about his opinion of Cardi's hit WAP. Snoop said of the adult nature of the song, quote, "But as an older man, it's like I love it that they're expressing themselves and they're doing their thing. But I don't want it that fashionable to where young girls feel like they can express themselves like that without knowing that it is a jewel that they hold on to until the right person comes around." So that didn't sit right with Offset, of course, who called out the hypocritical nature of the male-dominated rap industry. Speaking to how male rappers portray themselves and women, Offset said, quote, we should uplift our women and don't say what they can or can't do. You know how long women have been told they can't do something, or they shouldn't do this, or they've been blackballed out of entertainment? So I stay out of female stuff. It's entertainment. You can go on YouTube to see people shoot videos with guns and talk about killing. You can't really be like judgmental on certain things, and certain things we don't. So, Courtney, what do you think of Offset and Snoop's comment regarding WAP?
Alex, I'm gonna tell you right now, I gotta keep this very short because we have breaking news that we have to get into, girl, and I have it pulled up right here on the side, girl. We have some tragic, everyone is alive, no worries, our faves are alive. We have some tragic news that I have to get into in just a few minutes. But I just wanna say, good job on Offset. I feel like Snoop Dogg is great. He's an icon, but I felt like his comment was just a little bit out of touch. I would rather a woman sing strongly and passionately about what she's got than have, you know, a guy sing about it, because then it kind of feels like he owns a woman a little bit versus a woman taking her, like owning her own power. That's how it kind of comes across to me. So I wish that Snoop kept that to himself. But I love Snoop.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, you know, he is older now, and I think he's coming from a place of like a father standpoint, like a older man. But I also think that at this point, a man shouldn't be telling a woman what they can or can't do. And so, like you said, it came off differently than I'm sure he intended. But I also think it's cool of Offset to come to Cardi's defense, and I agree. At this point, women have been told they can't do things for a long time, so it's not Snoop's place to necessarily speak on that.
That's what it is. It's really not his place, and I agree. Alex,
Yes.
my day is destroyed. Can I tell y'all why?
What's going on? Tell us.
The T Tribe has just let me know that Jesse's leaving Little Mix. They have tweeted, Alex, after an amazing 9 years together, Jessie has made the to leave Little Mix. This is an incredibly sad time for all of us, but we are fully supportive of Jessie. Oh, good. We got the statement right there, y'all. On Twitter, it says we love her very much and agree that it is so important that she does what is right for her mental health and well-being. We are still very much enjoying our Little Mix journey, and the three of us are not ready for it to be over. We know that Jessie leaving the group is going to be really upsetting news for our fans. We love you guys so much and are so grateful for your loyalty and continued support of all of us. Alex, after they just put out the best kidding? Alex, I've got to catch a plane. I have to hashtag risk the Rona and catch a plane, and I have to go to England. I have to go to England, and I have to sit in the room with the ladies with a mask on, and I need to tell them they need to talk this over one more time. I don't know if I need to call Nicki Minaj. I don't know who we have to call, y'all. But Little Mix, they cannot disband. Jessie, I'm ready for your solo music, but do not leave the band. We need one more EP.
It's
that we're not
wow.
going to get that news.
Wow. I'm just kind of shocked by this. Jessie, already came out that she was struggling with mental health, with taking time. She must be going through a lot to come to this announcement. It's unfortunate. We hope it's not forever. I feel like we'll have more to talk about tomorrow on it, but thank you to T Tribe. And yes, Leo coming in hot with that statement real quick. Live show action. That's what we do here.
Thanks, Leo.
We got Courtney reporting. Look at that. We're a team.
I have ADD, girl. I saw that and I was like, I need to tell somebody.
No. That is important news. Of course, we love Little Mix. We wish them the best. We wish Jessie the best. We hope it's not, anything serious. And I'm sure we'll have more news to report on it tomorrow, but just tough. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
it's one thing after the other. But they've had a great run and they put out a great album. So let's remember that stuff. Yeah. Oh man. Well, speaking of some more music news, some more uplifting news. Seems like only yesterday we were speculating when Blue Ivy would receive her first Grammy nomination. Well, that day is today because Blue Ivy has just been added on as a featured artist for Beyonce's Brown Skin Girl. This adds her name onto the Grammy nomination the music video received for this year's upcoming Grammy Awards. Blue Ivy will now be one of the youngest Grammy nominees in history as she turns 9 in January before the award show on January 31st, 2021. Now, this may have been the nomination we should have all seen coming after she already received a BET Award in June for her role in Brown Skin Girl. So, Courtney and T-Tribe, what do you think of this news?
This is good news for Blue Ivy. I mean, not surprising at all. She is a little legend. I feel like in pop culture, it's like the joke for all of us to say things like Blue Ivy is really Beyonce's boss. So Blue Ivy was probably like, Mom, put me on this song so I could win this Grammy. And I want I just like the fact that she's young and powerful because her parents have sort of given her that power at a young age, and it'll be interesting to see what she does with it as she grows older.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. The most interesting thing I read in this article, which I didn't understand, so Blue Ivy and Wizkid were added, but St. John is also featured on it, and he's not nominated. So how can everyone but one person be nominated? That was the crazy thing. Yeah.
That's weird.
But congrats to Blue Ivy. I mean, not only are you Beyonce's daughter and Jay-Z's daughter, forget there's a whole family involved who are amazing, powerful, talented people, but you're also a Grammy nominee. Like, this girl is only 8 years old, Courtney. What is she gonna do with the next 100 years of her life? It is crazy.
Girl, I don't know, but at 8 years old, I was watching Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and eating fruit snacks, minding my business. So shout out to Blue Ivy. She was doing more than I was, girl, reading some Harry Potter, girl.
Exactly. Rollerblading on my street.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to her. Congrats to the family. Because that song and the visual and everything is great. There's the audio book. The audio book.
She's recording an audio book, Blue Ivy.
Right. She's just, incredible. Okay, well, listen to this news. The much anticipated versus battle between Ashanti and Keisha Cole has been postponed over the weekend. Ashanti posted to her Instagram notifying her fans that she has contracted COVID-19. Her post read, quote, "Hey y'all, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I tested positive for COVID-19. I'm okay and not in any pain. I'm actually down to do the verses from my house. We're trying to figure it all out." Apparently, Ashanti did want to see if they could still make the battle happen, but Versus decided to play it safe. The show's account took to their own Instagram to announce the postponement, saying, quote, "Unfortunately, we have to postpone tonight's Ashanti versus Keisha Cole versus. Ashanti tested positive for COVID-19 beforehand, and we cannot put anyone at risk in the process. First time this has struck us so close to showtime. We apologize to our incredible audience. Get well soon, Ashanti. Wear a mask, stay inside, and take COVID-19 seriously. It's truly affecting our community. New date, January 9th, 2021. So I guess we'll have to wait till the new year. What do you think of this news, Courtney? Did you see it on Twitter?
Listen, I saw it a lot on Twitter. People were very upset. People were pulling out their old baby fat sweatsuits, their little puffer jackets. They pulled out the black filas and the light denim skinny jeans. They were ready, the girls. And of course, something had to happen. What I found interesting, Alex, was that when I looked on Ashanti's social media that I'm not blocked from, aka her Instagram, it appeared as though she was traveling. And other people on social media were also pointing out that she was in like Africa and traveling all around the world and stuff. So I think that when Versus makes these announcements like so-and-so and so-and-so are going to do Versus, there should be sort of like paperwork that's signed that says that they'll quarantine for 2 weeks. Because people get excited for this. One woman, even though she shouldn't have, she made like wings. I saw she had like a display in her house. She had made like wings and burgers and sliders. She had balloons. Like the big part of people's like teenage lives, like Keisha Cole and Ashanti and stuff like that. So they were excited. And it got ruined. And who knows if this is worth taking off work January 9th, you know? You know, people get when you reschedule, sometimes they don't be wanting to show up the next time, Alex. I'm one of them. So
yeah, no, it's very true. Like you said, she had been traveling, so that's not, taking the necessary precautions. To each their own. As we said, this is a choice how you handle to deal with this pandemic. There are guidelines, there are precautions that we all should take. However, it is your choice at the end of the day. However, I also don't want anyone to get sick, so I feel for Ashanti and hope she gets better. But the interesting thing is she says, "I'm actually down to do it from my house," which you're supposed to quarantine. So how can she still do it if she has contracted the virus? That's what's interesting to me. Do you know what I mean?
Well, how it used to be, here's the thing. Versus was a thing before it became like commercialized and it became like a official series and Apple started sponsoring it. Alex, it would just be me and you, girl, on Instagram Live playing music like off the boombox in the back corner, and the fans would just be in the chat. Once they started getting the sponsors, then they wanted everyone to be in the same room. They wanted it to be like really high production, this, that, and the third. When they should have just went back to how it was. More people probably would have tuned in because it comes off a little bit more organic. I think that, and it's fine to do this. there's money involved with Versus now. So I'm sure that in order for, well, let me not say I'm sure, speculation, not confirmation, maybe in order for Keisha and Ashanti to get like the full check or an Apple music talk show after, or a podcast, whatever, they both have to show up and be in the same room and be present. Maybe that's in the paperwork. You never know. Because they put out a playlist, Apple Music, of all the music that they're going to go through. So there's a lot of moving pieces.
Well, stay tuned. January 9th, it'll be back, hopefully. And
hopefully Ashanti stays her ass home, and we'll see you January 9th.
Well, let's move on to the news, because Taylor opened up in a recent interview regarding her change in writing style. This was interesting. Speaking to Zane Lowe in anticipation of the Apple Music Awards 2020, Taylor talked about how her folklore-era writing style was a conscious change of formula. She said, quote, "There was a point that I got to as a writer who only wrote very diaristic songs that I felt it was unsustainable for my future moving forward. It felt too hot of a microscope. On my bad days, I would feel like I was loading a cannon of clickbait, when that's not what I want for my life." Taylor is, of course, famous for incorporating her real-life moments into her music, hence the more diary-like quality of many of her songs. Now, this interview seems to have Taylor walking away from that creative style moving forward. So, Courtney and T-Tribe, what do you think future music from Taylor will sound like, and why do you think Taylor felt the need to address this part of her creative process?
I'm glad that Taylor addressed it, and it makes a lot of sense, Alex. Even though we love Taylor Swift, I think that there still would have been a percentage of her work that might have felt monotonous if we just would have gotten 3 more albums of what's Taylor's love life like, or like how much does she love Joe, or like, you know. And it was interesting that herself, she said, okay, I'm feeling something in me. And I'm sure she felt the same way when she was doing Speak Now, and Speak Now ended and she said, okay, I'm feeling like I want to do something a little bit poppier. And then we got 22 and, you know, I Knew You Were Trouble, stuff like that. So I'm glad that she's always willing to evolve. Some of our most iconic artists that we've had for a minute, Alex, they've all learned to evolve. And even though she's younger, because when I say this, I'm thinking of people like Taylor Swift, Nicki Minaj, but I also want to throw Ariana Grande in that arena as well, because Ariana could have been still giving us Mariah Carey Broadway show tunes. And then she said, you know what, I want to hop in my R&B Birkin. Been buying her music ever since. I mean, I have all the albums, but you get what I'm saying? A good artist always knows how to push the brand forward, and Taylor's good at that.
I agree, and I think, you know, one of the things we love about Taylor, the storyteller of Taylor, the, you know, emotional side of Taylor, the lyricist that really writes everything down. You know, she is an open book, from her love life to her, you know, childhood to everything, can also be the detriment to her and her pain and her mental health. Because like she said, you know, people expect, what is this song about? You know, Swifties, like we'll talk about for our OMT, they are dissecting everything she puts out and touches. So I think that's, and you said it best, Courtney, before we went live, it's kind of like everyone's so, you know, infatuated about the reasoning and the story behind the song that sometimes even the music kind of gets put on the back burner because people are so focused on what it's about, you know? Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
it's a move to evolve like this. And I agree with you. There comes a time every artist should evolve.
And it's paying off. It's paying off.
Yes.
Alex.
Exactly. Okay. Let's move on to our card generator time. Courtney, let us in those gates because I am here, beep, beep, and I got to talk about the elf on the shelf.
If you guys are all set for all of the tea from behind the card generator gates, be sure to turn your volumes down for card generator tea time! Hello to everyone in my studio, which is no one, just me.
Yeah, that was a little extra 5 seconds. Thank you for that. So Kim is sick of the elf on the shelf. Posting to her Instagram story, Kim showed off a new place to put the elf, in a mason jar. So in the video, Kim talks about how she is sick of hiding all 4 of the elves each day in new places, and that after missing one day and getting a talking to from her kids, she decides to get creative about how to handle the elves. She said, quote, "We are on a 10-day quarantine." A note with the imprisoned elves reads, ensuring that Kim doesn't have to deal with the elves for the immediate future and that the kids can have their Christmas pals back in time for the big day. So, Courtney and T-Tribe, what'd you make of this video, and are you a fan of Elf on the Shelf?
Mom Tribe, is this clever or is this lazy? I feel like with everything going on this year, them kids ain't been able to leave the house, girl. At least create some sort of adventure for them. I feel like even as Kim Kardashian, Alex, that's what I would have done as Kim. I would have opened up Pinterest so fast and found 100 Elf on a Shelf. And on top of that, she lived in the hospital mansion. There's so many interesting places, I'm sure, within that very clinical home that she could find for the elf. Like, girl, you're supposed to have fun with this, not remind the kids of the world that they're living in. Moms, do you get what I'm saying? Alex, do you get what I'm saying? Am I being too, like, Peter Pan right now or what?
No, I hear what you're saying. You know, at this point, we have to get creative in quarantine, especially moms and Mom Tribe. I feel for you because I know this is a hard time between, at-home schooling and also just trying to keep kids occupied and not bored during this time. It's tough. So I hear what you're saying. You know, if you have to put an elf in a different room, like, come on, we can do that. But I saw this differently. I thought it was like a teaching experience when I first saw this over the weekend on Kim's Instagram. I thought that she had put the elves in the mason jars as a way to kind of show the kids, like, that we have to stay at home now. Like, I thought this was a very different thing. I thought she was like, okay, because kids don't understand quarantine. You know, I feel for young children that probably want to go outside and play with their friends and see, cousins and family. And I just think that must be difficult for a child to process. So I saw it as the elves are in the mason jar. We're stuck in the homes. But I don't know. I see your point. Like, let the elves out of the shelf. Put the elves on the shelf because we don't have that much time to do anything.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
Alex, real quick before we move on, all I'm saying, a quick example is they could have stood the elf up and had the elf digging a hole with a money tree. I imagine that Kim and Kanye told them kids money don't grow on trees. I know they do. That's just one of many. See how I came right off the top, girl? Kim, all she had to do was sit down and think. Just 5 minutes. I know Kylie is doing some fun Elf on the Shelf. She ain't got to show us, but I know Kylie's the one that will go all out. Kim said, lock him up. Jail. Girl.
Oh my gosh, it is hilarious. I have friends that are kind of partaking in this with children, and the kids love it. So I see your point. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you're over it. It's for the kids and bring them some happiness.
Yes,
Oh, Brandy said that's the way I took it. I was confused, still am. So she agreed with me that she teachable lessons. But I hear you. Okay, speaking of teachable lessons, Khloe Kardashian is getting a teachable lesson from her fans. Well, really just some backlash. Because Tristan posted a picture of him and his son, Prince, celebrating Prince's 4th birthday over the weekend. And instead of uplifting messages, the post has gotten some hate. So all this comes from Khloe's response to the post. 6 red heart emojis. This sparked some mixed feelings in the comments as fans were pulled in 2 different directions about how to feel. Some fans commented, quote, let him be with his son without you, or other messages telling Khloe not to get involved, while other fans defended her innocent post saying that she has the right to interact with True's brother. Do you think this post deserved this backlash that it received, Courtney and T-Tribe?
No. And whether we like Khloe and Tristan together or not, Prince by default is her family. So, I mean, it very much is one of those situations, Alex, where Khloe is damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. Because if she didn't comment on it, What if something happened down the line? The first thing we would have did is go right back and look, she don't even comment on Prince. See, she don't even, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, we ask for these things, and I'll throw myself in there and use it as an example. I'm always like, well, do we see Tristan with the other child? Where's Prince? Where's Prince? Where's Prince? Now we got Prince, right? He's celebrating Prince. That's check one. Good job, Tristan. That's one for the year. Chloe, you comment on it. Okay, good. Alley-oop, good job for Chloe. And she still is getting dragged. So, I mean, it's one of those situations where I say, Chloe, live your life. Because, I mean, they're going to be mad at you either way.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I think at the end of the day, we have to remember, Chloe had a blended family. She had a stepfather, she had to kind of learn, she had step siblings, like she has grown up in this kind of environment. And at the end of the day, I don't think she should be receiving any hate from spreading love. Like, this is a positive thing that Tristan is spending time with his son. This is True's, sibling as well, half sibling. So I do think that this is an overreaction from fans. Like, this is only a positive thing.
Alex, I know we're running out of time, girl, like we always do. But how interesting that the Kar-Jenners, if we really take away all of the extra, okay, I know we talk about all of the extra every day on this program, but if you really look at the Kar-Jenners at the basics, it's a blended family that has gone through addiction, coming out of the closet, weight loss, short marriage. They really do sort of encompass all of these issues that people in the world, but specifically Americans, go through. And maybe that's why we're genuinely like them or not.
Right. I agree.
They do go through it all. I hate them, but they're just us, with money.
Yeah. That's why I had the show for so long. Because there are so many, their lives we can't keep up. And this is just the latest. We'll have more tomorrow. But let's move on to our OMT. As you said, we have been running out of time, and we have to talk about this. Taylor Swift may not be done releasing albums this year, according to a new fan theory making its way through Twitter. Swifties have been uncovering clues as to a possible third album in the folklore era titled Woodvale. Users are pointing out in one of the album covers included in the recent releases of Folklore and Evermore that in the upper right-hand corner, the word Woodvale is hidden in the trees. They also point out the way in which merch for the albums has been coming out in groups of 3. One fan said, quote, "These 2 candles came with Folklore and Evermore release, but the scrunchie came in a 3-pack. Also, the 3 albums may be linked to her 3 cats, and her holiday card has the 3 cats wearing the colors, with Benjamin, her newest cat, wearing blue. Albums linked to chronological order theory. We all know how much Taylor loves her cats, and this picture would go a long way to prove that there may be another album on the way. It would be exciting if there was another album coming out. But do you think that the Swifties are spending too much time with their magnifying glasses on this one?"
I will say they definitely have spent their magnifying glasses too long on some theories. Remember the 5 holes in the fence, y'all? Let's not even get into that. But I think that I wouldn't be surprised if she wanted to wrap this project up with a bow and give us one more. Another thing, Alex, that I saw right before we went live, the Swifties were talking about, Taylor had tweeted people, and it was like the first person she tweeted, she used 3 emojis, and then the next person she tweeted, she used 2 emojis, and then the third person, I think it was like 1 emoji. So people are thinking she's coming out with an album like tomorrow or this week or something very, very, very soon. And I'm here for it. This is like, according to critics, this is like her best work, critically acclaimed. So if Taylor wants to wrap it up, why not? Give us the last part of the story. It might not be for all, but it definitely will be for Swifties, especially before the re-recordings. Because I feel like that would take focus away from all of this. So she might as well put it all out and get it all off her chest before we step back into the booth.
Right. Like, I mean, this would make sense because, as Taylor expressed before, they just couldn't stop writing. So maybe they wrote a whole nother album. I have another theory that maybe it's about a movie that she's directing or some other piece of work that's not necessarily an album, but could be like I know she released a documentary, but maybe something scripted. Just to put it out there. But like you said, you know, the Swifties are very thorough in their reporting. They don't, you know, screw around. So if they think a third album is coming, usually they're on a pretty good track. And it would be the craziest thing someone has ever done. You know what I mean? Releasing albums in less than 2 albums in less than 5 months, and then to just drop a third one, like she'd be breaking records and history all over. So it could be cool, really cool if she does this.
It's a reach, Alex, but she dropped this remix of Willow on her birthday yesterday, I think it was. Right. And it very much is a more upbeat production, a little bit poppier, a little bit more dancey. Do you think that, I feel like as the albums have gone on, Folklore and now Evermore, the music is getting just the dial on the upbeat is going just like this. Could it be speculation, not confirmation, that if there's a third album coming, this will be the pop cousin of the two sisters?
I would love that. Let's get the pop cousin. That's what we need. Like, yeah, like you said, you know, Folklore was Folklore. We had Evermore a little bit more, like we said, of the 1989 era. Now let's really just dive right into pop. Let's bring the pop cousin.
Give us Reputation's auntie.
We're going to bring the cousin in to the trilogy. And I don't know what kind of comparison I'm making. But all in all, this would happen. And I think it does. Because who doesn't want more Taylor music, right, Courtney?
I need it.
We need it. Okay, well, on that note, that is all the tea we have to spill today, but don't worry, we will be back tomorrow. Same time, 8:30 Pacific Standard Time for Tequila Tuesday. Get your tequila ready. And we're going to have some tequila and spill some tea. And if you're new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe so we can bring you the morning tea every morning. And also share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're an after sipper, we love to read them. And Courtney, if they want more of you after the show, where can they find you?
If you want more of me after the tea, you can follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as my own individual YouTube channel. Just type Courtney Revolution right there. Up top, it all comes up for you. Where can they find you, Schiffman?
You can find me on all social media platforms, just like my name, at Alex Schiffman. And on that note, let's wash this tea off our hands. Everyone stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Take it away, Courtney.
All righty. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Tequila Tuesday. And now it's time to wash your hands, Leo. You better wash your hands. It's man. You better wash your hands. Wash your hands. You better wash your scrub your hands. Scrub your hands. Scrub your hands. Hey, just wash your hands, Miss Ma'am. Just wash your hands. Just wash.